Welcome back, everyone, to the Complete Pineleaf. We are back here at Helm's Deep after the battle, and we are about to hear the story of Hama's last stand from Gleowine.
I will tell you the tale of Hama's heroic stand, if you will hear it.
This day brings a new dawn for Rohan, but not without cost, Pineleaf. Many friends and kinsmen came to their ends during the long night at the wall, and it is this minstrel's sad duty to remember their names and their tales. Hama, the door word of Theoden, fell before the Hornburg. Without his valiant efforts, the gate would surely have been breached, and the king slain before he could ride to victory. I will tell you the tale of Hama's heroic stand, if you will hear it. All right, I suppose that I could hear the story of the door ward.
Dawn had not yet come.
Dawn had not.
Orcs streamed into the gatehouse, eager to spill the blood of Theoden. One man stood in their path, Hama, the doorward of Theoden.
And let's stand in their path and keep them from getting into the Hornburg. Yeah, we got to make sure they don't get inside or anything like that. I don't think we need. So we're tanking for a door. How about that? Well, anyone else coming here? Oh, glory for Rohan.
Hama thought of the glory of Rohan, and his strength was renewed.
Now we get more attackers. So that's how things are going to be going for this one. I must have done that again. All right. Yeah, aha. Oh, now we get the Urukai. Now we get the Dunlendings. This isn't exactly the optimal person for a single person to be battling against a horde of enemies. What you really need is an outer door would really be useful. Ah, House of Errol. Thinking of the duty to the House of Errol keeps Hama fighting.
Hama thought of the house of Eorl, and his strength was renewed.
Right, now we get the next group. But really, yeah. Really need a barricade here to slow down the enemy from getting through, because look at this. Apparently they're more interested in killing Hama than in getting through.
Hama stood with his back to the door and prepared for the end.
Prepared for the end. Oh. And now we have Leofirth.
I will not retreat from here the tread of a single foot, he cried aloud. A doorward I was, he shouted, and a doorward I remain. Even as he fell, he heard the horn of Helm Hammerhand echo in the deep. Forth the Erolingus! Ride to victory!
I can only hope that he wasn't merely unconscious when all those riders rode practically right on top of him.
And so passed Hama, the doorward of Theoden.
Without Hama at the gate, then perhaps the kingdom itself would now be broken. Do not forget this. I know that Theoden King will not. He served the king faithfully for many years, even to his death. Let's have a word with Theoden first to finish up the interlude. Then we can take care of that little rest being requested by Why am I still need? Oh, maybe I. That's probably for a quest that he's gonna have all those quest rings on until I turn in that quest to Darwinna. All right, all right, all right. I'll get to that in any moment now. Just heard the tale of Hama.
I will see to it that Hama will not be forgotten.
I know what this victory cost us, Pineleaf. Many good men, children of Rohan all. They fought to defend their people, and I will remember their valiant deeds. But one loss would loom more large in my mind than the rest. For Hama, son of Leofrith, was more than the doorward of my hall. He served me faithfully for many years, and he did not do so blindly. When I succumbed to the whisperings of Grima Wormtongue, and only Gandalf could restore me to my senses, it was Hama that weighed the wizard's wish against my own command. And though he was sworn to uphold my word, Hama was a true man of Rohan, and made the judgment he deemed necessary. It was disobedience, but in service of the kingdom, and I both forgive and am proud of him. He gave his life before the Hornburg, and without his sacrifice we could not have had victory on this day. I will see to it that Hama will not be forgotten. And for this, how about Hama's bravery? That sounds like a nice shield to have. Yeah, that sounds like a wonderful shield to have. To remember Hama. Now, does it have anything on it that well, made nothing in particular on there now. Why is that's right. That's Shinrik. That's so that you can go and rerun the story tales if you haven't done so already or you wanted to go through them again or something like that. But right now it's time for us to get back to Darwinne. And speaking of those lost during the battle, it appears that the Riders 4 are one fewer in number because Leofdog is fallen in the battle. So let's take a moment for him. And we hope the best for the remaining 3. But I am asked to find Darwinne. We've arrived at the Great Hall of the Hornburg. So I will presume that this is Erkenbrand's seat, though he's not currently here. He's probably off on other errands at the moment. Quite a mead hall, though no major fire pits as we normally have in these places, right? Sure, there's got to be a fire pit somewhere. Well, we have that, I guess. Let's speak with Darwinne then.
We spoke yesterday, do you remember?
Yes, we spoke around sunset. It feels like a lifetime ago, Pineleaf. Well, there is that.
Speak to me if you are ready, and I will prepare a place for you.
The king and some of the others of his guards plan to ride for Isengard, but first they will take some hours of rest. You should do as well, Pineleaf. Speak with me when you are ready. I suppose I'll take my own little rest.
After a short rest, the company sets out for Isengard and finds the road greatly changed.
Yes, I can see things have changed a little bit here. I presume you're talking about this forest here. What do you say about it, Aragorn? I hope you found the rest before we set out, Pineleaf. I tried to do so, but I could not quiet my roving mind, and I'm still greatly fatigued. What would you find in Isengard? These trees are not here when I arrived at Helm's Deep yesterday. I think we both know what brought them here, to the foot of the dike, but that makes it no less frightening a sight, does it? Yeah? Well, the only way the trees could move would be if there are horns, and actually, based on their look in the distance there, that looks very hornish to me, the way those look like eyes and a mouth on those trees. Do you sense it, Pineleaf? A presence watches us from amongst these trees. I do not think the trees build any will ill, Aragorn. I hope you're right, Gandalf. I do not like the feel welcoming from the trees. Well, we should not stray from the path at any rate. You do not need to worry about that, Gandalf. Hold on. What's wrong? Pineleaf, wait. Do you hear that? I hear a great sound of creaking timbers and rustling branches. It comes this way. Maybe it's just an ant or a horn? Legolas, what are you doing? Come back! Look, among the trees! Oh, yeah, ants. Yeah, just some ants. What are those creatures? They are ents, Theoden King, shepherds of the forest. Have you forgotten the tales of your youth? Yes, we do have a place in your kingdom called the Entwash Vale. I never believed I could see such things, Pineleaf. Ents. I'm filled with wonder at the sight, wonder of a kind I thought was the sole reserved for children. Of an old man, a white beard of many winters, and still I have seen things this day I would not have believed yesterday. They tower above mortal men, and cover such a span with each stride. What damage they could do to the homes of my people, if that was their thought, but I don't believe that's their desire. Now I understand the meaning of this forest, Gandalf. I gave nary a thought to the Ents, not since I was a boy. Why would they help us now? You have more allies than you suppose, Theoden King. Even among those you deemed no more than legend. These Ents are herdsmen, not warriors. The people of Rohan need not fear them, as long as they cause no harm to their flock. There is no one in this land that would have done well to heed the Ents before now. If he had heeded them in the battle that is lately ended, might have come to a different conclusion. It's good for Rohan and for all free folk that he did not take them into account. Let's proceed, Pineleaf. There are still many miles to go before we reach Isengard. And we've arrived to the ford, which is still in a terrible state. Many good men fell at the fords, but their kingdom still stands. We're almost to Isengard, and will bring report of their valiant sacrifice to the wizard who forced its need. Let us rejoin our companions, Pineleaf. You do not want them to deal with Saruman before we arrive, do you, Pineleaf? No, we don't. Well, let's continue. A horseman approaches from behind us, and at great speed. Oh? What's this? Oh. I hear the sound of swift hoofbeats approaching from behind us. Let us confront the rider before he overtakes us and offer some harm to the king. Ride with me, Pineleaf, and we will learn if it's friend or foe. Alright. We shall do so. Ah! Well, 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 halt! Who rides to Rohan? Rohan, you say? That's the land we seek, and with haste. Rohan is ruled by Theoden king, and none enter this land without his leave. What is the meaning of your haste? I am Halbarad. Dunedain of the north, we seek Aragorn, son of Arathorn. And you found him. And finally, the Grey Company arrives. Ah, Halbarad. You finally arrived, Halbarad. It's good to see you again, Pineleaf. I knew in my heart you would see you once more, but I didn't think to find you in the company of my chieftain Aragorn. Much has happened since we parted, and little of it good, but we need not speak of our respective deeds when there's time to breathe. We could do that. We have found Aragorn between perils, it seems. He had your help at first. He has all of us for the second. May it be enough. May it be enough. And here's some of the others running right through me. All right. We have Coronir. This is truly an unexpected encounter, Pineleaf. I am glad to see that you're well, and in the company of Aragorn, no less. Our errand has not ended, though its first goal has now been accomplished. Now we must lend what aid we can to Aragorn. Is it true that you take the road to Isengard? Whatever other objective Aragorn has with Saruman, we must add this one as well, to rescue Lothrandir, my kinsman, if he yet lives. Oh yes, there's still Lothrandir. And we have Calenglad. It was not a long goodbye after all, Pineleaf, though the intervening days have been eventful. I think Halbarad keenly felt the burden of his duty after you left us, for he was not sure how best to proceed. But it seems he chose aright, for we have found Aragorn as the words of Galadriel bade us. The sons of Elrond bear messages for him from his father, and Halbarad carries the gift of Arwen. A trust that Aragorn will know what to do with these gifts. Alright. And we have Radonir. It seems you found Aragorn before we did, Pineleaf. Perhaps we should have gone with you. Yeah. No, he probably just have slowed me down, really. And Goladir. We are welcome met once again, Pineleaf, but in hardship. I sought the treacherous leader of the Falcon clan, but he gave me the slip and escaped into the mountains. He lives still the life of a coward. Nah, he was killed by a little Rohirrim girl. Oh, you tell me true? Then he's paid for his crimes. He abandoned some of his own people when he fled, and we left them in a place of peace, where they should be safe. I worried that their former chieftain might seek them out and visit upon them further harm, but even Saruman's magic cannot help Lew Brynny now. I'm satisfied, Pineleaf. Thank you on behalf of my fallen kinsman, and also for those of his own people he betrayed. There you go. Your kinsman. Halbarad has given me much to think about, Pineleaf. We have more reasons to converse with Saruman than I believed. You mean like Lothrandir? Yes, like Lothrandir. Are we all ready to head over to Isengard then?
I believed we would see each other again, but I did not know it would be so soon.
Sending you from the Grey Company was not an easy decision, Pineleaf, but I knew Theodred had need of your aid. What sadness that he could not be saved from his fate, but perhaps that too contributed to the resolve of the Eorlingas. The Grey Company has done what it set out to do. We had written to our chieftain in Rohan, and it seems we have come in time, after all. Some of our numbers were lost on the way, but those of us that remain will do everything in our power to ensure that Aragorn can fulfill his destiny. I'm glad to see you again, Pineleaf.
I have much to think about and little time in which to do so.
This is an unexpected joy, my friend. Had I known that they were journeying to find me, when you spoke to me of the Dunedain, I did not suspect that you had traveled with them in recent days, Pineleaf. I do not think I would have changed my course had I known, but perhaps that is the power of hindsight. Perhaps it is the wisdom of Elrond behind your silence, my friend. He's never quick to volunteer information, which makes the word of his sons even more curious. I have much to think about, and little time in which to do it.
I am most curious to see what we will find in Isengard.
I spoke briefly with Halbarad, and if he has business with Isengard before now, I could count it double. We must find if Lothrindir still lives within the ring. Let Gandalf speak to Saruman for weeks if that is what he desires. My thoughts are of my kinsman. I do not I have not seen him for many years, but Lothrindir has been a friend for longer than that, and I will not abandon him. Let's ride along the road to Isengard. I am most curious to see what it we will find. All right, let us then head to Isengard. And that's where you'll find me in the next episode of Complete Pineleaf.